Hello, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are joining from. Thank you for being here. Welcome to another week. It's been a busy week in my world, getting ready for moving, which is now coming up in 6 days. So things are a little bit chaos. For example, this random IKEA cabinet sitting in the middle of the floor of the studio, blocking my way to the table, which is also full of things like moving boxes. So yes, it is, it's chaos in here. I have not had a chance to do any proper testing of the new gear that's come in, so we're not going to worry about that today. Instead, we're just going to focus on Q&A in the chat, see who's here, and ask questions and answer questions. So if you are new here, welcome. Reminder, if you have a question, please start your message with the letter Q. My little title card isn't working. Don't know why. Anyway, start your message with the letter Q, and it helps me see it a little bit easier on the screen here. So what has been going on? Well, last week was a fun show. We had a guest on, TVJay, and did a little interview about what it's like running large scale productions and TV studios and doing sports broadcasts and things like that. So we also successfully got him over the 1,000 subscriber mark, which is super exciting. So congrats. And thank you all. So he is now at 1K subscribers. One quick update from that stream. So what we were using for the show was was we were in a Zoom call, and then I had the Pearl Nano, sorry, Epiphan Cloud. That's what it was. We were in a Zoom call. Epiphan Cloud was dialed into that Zoom call, pulling out his video as an SRT feed, which I then showed in pulled down into the Magewell Pro Convert to pipe it into the stream here, and it worked great. The latency was very, very low. We did a little time check, and I think it was under a second when we were doing a little atomic clock thing. But that was definitely like overkill for just a 2-person interview. The whole Zoom thing is like definitely a lot better when you have multiple people, because then you can get multiple SRT feeds. There were plenty of other ways we could have done a one-to-one interview. But one question that came up was, what about doing SRT directly? Because essentially I was kind of doing this SRT but with a couple extra hops by using the Epiphan Cloud service. What about doing SRT directly? Which is of course only one way, so you would need to do 2 SRT links. And since we both have studios, we could have both done that, of sent SRT feeds to each other and had a call that way. And of course that means you're dealing with latency in both directions. So can you have a conversation over that link? I don't know, but Jay is going to try it out on his show tomorrow. So on his live stream tomorrow, he's going to actually do a test with somebody else. And they're going to do they're both going to be sending SRT feeds to each other and have no other back channel. So we were using the Zoom call as essentially a back channel so we could talk to each other in basically real time and not worry about things. But he's going to try it with SRT direct between 2 locations, and that will be the channel that they're also talking on. So tune in, see how that goes. It should be interesting. I look forward to seeing the results, and yeah. Sven says the latency was rather low in your measurement, but watching the talk before the flow of conversation felt like it was a lot higher. So my theory with that is that we both tend to actually pause quite a bit as we're talking. So we were both aware of like not wanting to step on each other's sentences. So there is like when you're doing that kind of an interview, and especially when you've got the added latency of Zoom, which is not 0, it's just very, very low. It is a little bit, you have to be aware of like not wanting to interrupt the other person mid-sentence, because you can't do it the same way you can when you're actually in person. So I think we were both hyper aware of that, and then also both like taking extra time to just think about what we were going to say. And I think that made it seem like there was more latency than there actually was, because I would finish a sentence, Jay would like wait for me to finish and confirm that I wasn't going to start saying something else before he would start speaking. So I think that was what was going on. Okay, let's see. Got a couple of questions coming in the chat. Louise, can you make a video on the Raspberry Pi bridge to stream from anywhere in the world from OBS? I think I already did that. I don't think there's anything else that would be different, although I do need to update it to not use the old Raspberry Pi OS. But this is a video about turning a Raspberry Pi into a streaming bridge, which basically means here is the DIY, I'll say Raspberry Pi RTMP receiver. So that video goes through the steps of setting up a Raspberry Pi to receive an RTMP stream from anything, and it can be OBS. So unfortunately, Raspberry Pi OS removed the piece of software that I was using for that, OMX player, and there is a way to do it with VLC, but I need to update that video, so I guess I should do another video about that. All that to say, this is a good option if you want an affordable option, but I have had better experience and better luck with the Magewell Pro Convert, which is the hardware I was using last week. And it essentially does the same thing. So it is this. Keep popping the wrong window. That is this little box, and it is it receives a network stream of multiple different kinds of network streams, and then outputs SDI, or you can get an HDMI version. It's great. So that's a good option too. Oh, Louise says, I did it and it worked amazing. Great. Okay. But only on the same network. Aha. So if you're trying to get this to work from outside of your local network, there isn't anything different you need to do on the Raspberry Pi or on the ProConvert. You just have to have port forwarding configured. So this is where it's like, I can show you how to do port forwarding in my router, but that is not necessarily the same router that you're using. So it's going to look differently in your router. But what you need to do is forward a port from your router on your network to the Raspberry Pi port that's listening. And I'm trying to think if I have like an easy way to show this. I should just get like a generic Linksys router or something so I can test, so I can show the web interface of these things. But port forwarding is the secret. And then you'll need to know your public IP address, which you can find. I think you just Google like, what's my IP, and it'll tell you. No, yes, it does. Just Google what's my IP, and it'll show you like, oh, here's your public IP address. And then you need to stream to that address from outside the network. And then there's additional tricks you can do if you want it to give it a name, so that you don't have to keep changing the IP address in your OBS config. But that's all networking stuff. Cool. Glad you got it. All right. Let me keep scrolling back through the chats here. Michael says, thanks for your help a couple weeks ago fixing Companion and OBS. We're back running on all cylinders with all our cameras and scenes. Oh, excellent. The trick was to upgrade Companion to 3 and OBS to 2914. Okay. Yeah. There's definitely been some like interesting compatibility issues between the different versions of things as everyone's updating and changing things. Oh, and then there's a way to see plugin compatibility in V3, but only after you have it installed, built into the program as far as I can see. Okay, cool. I still haven't installed Companion V3 because honestly, I just haven't had time to do it. So at some point I will upgrade. I think it's getting close enough that the things I need are getting more stable, all the plugins I'm using. I've been encountering a blue screen on Windows 11 when streaming using ATEM Mini Pro. That's not good. Problem with switcher.sys. That's bizarre. Are you going in to USB like as a webcam? Because like normally the ATEM and Windows don't really talk to each other, and it's just the control software that like this if I'm using this control app I'm on a Mac, but you know, this would be running on Windows, but this isn't really like processing any of the video information. It's just sending the little button presses to the ATEM. So are you using OBS or something to stream from? Because I'm curious. I don't know. I would just say update drivers and stuff. Update whatever you can on Windows, because that is bad. Blue screens should not happen. I DM'd on Twitter about possibly turning a small keypad into a remote for the ATEM so it can stay in my IRL backpack setup. Aha, yes. Okay, I remember this question. Okay, so if you're doing an IRL backpack with an ATEM in it, which is a big, it's quite a lot of gear that's in there already. So if you've got an ATEM in there, then I'm assuming you've got things like a power supply, like a good power supply, battery, and you have no problem throwing more wires into that backpack. As opposed to like if you were trying to do this from like a GoPro or just like a single camera, you would need a lot less wires. The reason I bring this up is because the way that you could do this is using Companion. So we've been talking about Companion. I should probably just show it at this point. Companion is this software that can integrate with all sorts of different devices. So I've got, this is what I use to run, I don't know why it's page 9 just because it has been forever. I should probably move this down to another page, but you can make these pages of buttons and then customize them to do whatever you want. So I've got these buttons that just change camera angles. So you're looking at my SuperSource screen, but if I click on the desk, it goes back to my camera. And these are like configuring different SuperSource layouts. I've got microphone mute buttons. These are the buttons for like starting the show where I show the map at the beginning. Here's the button that starts, like does a little transition and cuts over to my camera, turns on the microphone. So all these buttons have like multiple actions they can do. So Companion's super cool, super useful. It's free, open source. You can run it on a computer, or in my case, I'm running it on a Raspberry Pi. And this is, yeah, okay. So my ATEM is going into a YoloBox setup. Plenty of power supplies, no worries about wires, just a hassle to access the buttons. It's be nice to run buttons from something with a long cord. Absolutely. So this is what I would say would be a great place to start looking. Get a Raspberry Pi, stick it inside that backpack, and then install Companion on the Raspberry Pi. So again, Companion is this piece of software. Then you make your buttons to do whatever you want. You can make just simple buttons to change camera angles, or you can do things that are like stacking multiple actions on top of each other. So if you want to have a way to load a particular graphic from the media pool into a slot and then show that, or all that kind of stuff you can do in Companion. And then once you've got all this configured, you need a way to press these buttons. So I have this, let's see if I can, why is that cable so tight? Okay. So I have a Stream Deck here, which is from Elgato, and this is the big one, but they have a small 15 button. It's like 5x3, and they also have a 3x2 as well. This plugs into the Raspberry Pi over USB. So this is powered from the Pi, plugs over into USB. So you could have this or the smaller one, like in front of you, somewhere more accessible, where you can use that, press all the buttons on that to change all the actions in your backpack. And that would work fantastic. So yeah, a couple steps there. Definitely recommend running it on a Raspberry Pi, and then plug in the Stream Deck to the Raspberry Pi directly. So I saw a question here about, oh, Graham, thank you. Yes, also a small router. I'm assuming you already have some sort of networking gear in that backpack, but if your ATEM is plugged directly into like the LiveView modem or whatever you're using, or YoloBox, I guess, then you would need to add a switch to be able to connect the Raspberry Pi to that as well. So you'll need a network switch in there, connect ATEM, Raspberry Pi, whatever your modem is, and then they're all on the same network locally there. So you have a little mini network in your backpack. And oh yeah, Delmix Edit has a good question here. Does Companion take over the Stream Deck, or is it an app that you can make active when open? So there's two different ways it can work. If you're using Companion if you're running Companion on your computer, then you can go into the Elgato software and configure the Elgato software to, this is what it looks like to run the Stream Deck. I have like the little mini one set up here. And then, these are all buttons that are doing things on the computer. Once you install the Companion integration, where is it? How do I do this? I don't do it this way, so I don't even really know. There it is, Companion button. So once you have this new, if you did want to use it with your computer, you can add a button from Companion here. And then this is basically map the Stream Deck or the Elgato software button to a Companion button. So it's not running because I'm not running Companion on the Mac right now. Like I said, I don't do it this way. So, but that's because I run Companion on a Raspberry Pi. So it's not plugged into my computer. And that's the reason I don't worry about that. But you can, yeah, you can merge them if you want. If you want to have it be a hybrid of run Companion on your computer, and then, but yeah, that's not what you are looking for. Does the Pi have to be 4? I think so. I think it doesn't work with a 3. I don't think there's enough CPU in that. Companion probably works with just a little 4-key macro pad. So the Stream Deck is like the official best way to use it. I think you can make it work with other controllers, but it's definitely like gonna work best with a Stream Deck, just because then you get the little screens on them where you can reprogram you can like make the buttons have different colors or different labels and things like that. So I would just, if you don't need that many buttons, get the little 6-button one, the little tiny one, and then it'll work great too. Could Companion speak to the ATEM via USB? That way the network could be simplified. No, not. No. Yeah, the ATEM, Blackmagic did something over USB where their software control can talk to the ATEM over USB. So if you're using this software and plug in an ATEM Mini to your computer, it can find it. But if you do that, you'll notice that you don't get an IP address here. It'll just like be directly connected. And there isn't a way to do that in Companion to like tell it that there's a directly connected ATEM. Okay, lots of good comments coming in about this. Let me see if there's see if there's anything about this topic before we move on. 6-button one is nice, but doesn't lay flat. Oh, yeah, that's a good point. It's got the little mount built into it, so it would be weird to attach it to the backpack straps. I could see it working because you could do it like, I could see it working, but yeah, that is a little bit weird. You might try the 15-button one because that one does, the first gen of it does lay flat. You just take or it is flat. It has a little stand that kicks up, which is kind of annoying. So, yeah. Okay, yeah, this is the simpler way of what I was trying to explain. If you're running Companion on a computer, if you don't run the Stream Deck software, Companion does take control of the Stream Deck. Or you can run the Stream Deck software and bring in some of the buttons into your Stream Deck that way. Okay, then Jonathan, that's a good question. What would you suggest to use if you want to use Companion far away from the computer? So there's a couple different ways, and it depends on how far you mean. So, for example, I'm like 8 feet away from that rack, which is where the Raspberry Pi is, and my Stream Deck is up on this desk. What I've done is I just have a very long USB cable. And it is, let me see if I can find it. Here it is. It is a 16 5-meter cable. This little thing is a, so this is just a very long cable that is able to, oh, looks like might need to find a different version of it now. Because this one looks like it's not available anymore. But it's able to go 16 feet. And interestingly, it does also power the device. So you don't need extra power for this. There's another one that has, that's like 30 feet. And that one does require a power supply at the far end. So that is how you can do the signal boost. But this thing is great. So if you want to go 16 feet or 30 feet away from the computer, that's a great option. It's very simple. It's directly connected. But there's another option, which is if you look into if you go into the Surfaces tab where you would, tell it to find the connected USB devices, they actually have this little tip. You can use Companion Satellite to connect a Stream Deck from a different computer or Raspberry Pi. So Companion Satellite, this is getting a little bit complicated to explain, but basically, oh look, David's photos in the GitHub repository. That's great. He has a good video about this, so you should just watch that video. But basically, what it is it's a way to okay, there's the link to his video. This is a way to use a separate computer or Raspberry Pi with its own connected Stream Deck remotely into a different companion. So that will get you as far away as you want. So, in a different building on the same network, or you could do it over the internet if you really wanted to. Probably some firewall concerns there that you want to do, because I don't think there's any authentication of this. But basically, yeah, it just is a way to connect two of these companion pieces of software together and use one Stream Deck remotely into another one. So that'll get you as far as you want. Whenever I can find a Pi 4, I want to try Companion Satellite in a wireless battery operated box. Oh yeah, that'd be cool. Then you get like a self-contained little box that's your controller. Neil says, if you carry a travel router in your backpack, could you not run Mix Effect on an iPhone? Yeah, that's a good point, although I do think that that's probably not the best option for this kind of IRL streaming, because I think you want physical buttons. So Mix Effect is another great option for controlling the ATEM. It is an iOS app, so it's either iPad or iPhone. And once it's connected, which it can do wirelessly, obviously this is on Wi-Fi. So once it's connected to my switcher, then, let's see, come on, there we go. Then you get buttons that look very similar to the software control buttons. And this can change camera angles as well. So, there we go. And you get a whole bunch of other stuff in here as well. So this is another good option, but I will say this is probably not what you want, or you could run it on a little phone or iPad, but I don't think this is going to be the best option for an IRL setup, just because I think physical buttons are important. But it's a good option, very good option for some things. Oh, and Graham reminds us that Companion also allows you to run an emulator on the web. Yeah, very good point. Let me show what that looks like. So if you don't have a Stream Deck, you can actually start using this just from a tablet. So if you go to web buttons, emulator, web buttons, mobile buttons, I think some of these are different in version 3, but if you go to emulator, then it kind of like, it looks like a Stream Deck and it works like a Stream Deck, where you can go and click around just like it was a real one. There's also this one, which is like all your pages are just, you can scroll through. And then what's this one? Oh, slightly different view of the, but yeah, so what you can do is you can pull this up on a iPad on the same network and then press the buttons on the iPad. But again, I think physical buttons are important for a lot of cases. So, cool. Okay. I think that's enough on Companion. Oh, wait, more. Okay. Could I somehow use ATEM OSC on the Pi with a network connection and assign keys that way? Oh, yeah. I haven't used that in a long time because I've been so happy with Companion and Mix Effect. But yes, ATEM OSC is another option. And then if you have a keypad that you can assign OSC commands from some other thing, then totally works. Basically get your ATEM on the network, and then you can connect to it from whatever you want. And yeah. Yeah, lots of good ways to do it. The emulator is the only one that allows you to go to a different page. Right. Okay, that's what it is. When you're in the web buttons, and if you have like my first page is actually just navigating to other pages. So if I click this, it should go to page 9. It doesn't navigate here. I have to scroll down to page 9. These buttons work in the emulator, but the page navigation buttons don't work. But if you're in the emulator, then the page navigation buttons do work. So that is, this is me jumping around to different pages, right? Okay, let me scroll back up. I'm definitely not able to follow the chat anymore because there's been too many comments about different things. So make sure if you have a question, that you start it with the letter Q. And still don't know why that overlay isn't working. Oh well. Okay, from earlier, Kevin says, is there any way to use a macro or Stream Deck X keys with the YoloBox Mini? No. So right now, the YoloBox does not have any version of remote control, which I keep asking them to do. I really, really, really want them to add support for Companion, not a special controller. I want just OSC commands for the YoloBox. So if you also want to be able to use Companion or a Stream Deck or other controllers with the YoloBox, please make sure you comment on whatever you can find from YOLO Live. So they post on Facebook all the time. They post on LinkedIn. You can comment on my videos as well. I have a video about the, where is it? It's a wish list about what YoloBox should do. Here it is. Here is my 2023 YOLO Live wish list. So go comment on that video and add your own votes for things you want to see from new software in the YoloBox. Stop and Think says, I have the ATEM Mini Extreme. How do I feed my computer video to an ATEM HDMI input? So it's actually, it's pretty simple, but there is kind of a trick. So your computer has an HDMI out or a dongle that can do HDMI out. So all you do is you just plug in that dongle to the ATEM. Think of the ATEM as an external monitor. That's what it's doing. So connect the HDMI out from your computer or the dongle directly into the ATEM input number 6. And then in your computer will see it as if it were a second monitor. Do I have that set up here? No, I don't. I only have one display on this computer. This is a Mac Mini. But yeah, it'll show up like it's a second monitor. And then that means you can either choose to mirror or extend your display. So if you mirror, it means whatever you're seeing on your laptop screen is the same thing that's in the ATEM. However, if you extend the display, it'll work just like a second monitor, where it'll have its own space that you can move things around to. And the trick with that is that if you've plugged if your ATEM is a second monitor, then you can really only see it small in the multi-view. So if you're looking at the multi-view and you're looking at your computer, then it's going to be very hard to actually use. So like, where's my multi-view button? There it is. So if you're looking at the multi-view and now you can see my computer in number 5 down there, it would be very hard to use my computer if I were looking at this tiny little screen and trying to navigate the interface. So if you mirror the display, then that's great. That means that you're looking at your big monitor and then you just know that it's going to be small there. If you wanted to extend it to use it as a separate display, then you're going to want to do something like either either send it into a splitter so that you can send one copy to the monitor and one into the ATEM, or you could find a monitor that has HDMI pass-through. Some of the like broadcaster studio monitors have HDMI in and out, and then you go computer to the monitor, monitor to the ATEM. That works really well too. So a couple different options for you there. But basically just think of the ATEM as a monitor. Dan's Planning Video says, I connect my Mac to an ATEM input through a splitter. Yeah, that works well. That's effectively what I'm doing here, actually, is that my Mac Mini is back there, and it's going from HDMI into a Blackmagic converter, going sending the HDMI signal to this monitor and the SDI signal into the switcher. So it's kind of like a little splitter. Oh, Darren says I'm doing a live stream very soon, so we'll watch this one back later too. Very cool. Darren has a great channel, so go check out his stuff too. Delmix Edit says, have you seen the new Hollyland streaming camera? If so, what are your thoughts? I did. I actually saw it at NAB. They changed the name, but yeah, same. Now it's like launched. So they had a preview about at NAB. I did a little short video about it. Very interesting. It's basically an Android device that has the camera built into it, and then you can stream directly from that because it's an Android device. Like stream it directly to YouTube or whatever. Definitely has some interesting uses. So it'll be interesting to see what people do with it. Michael says, what could be the problem when Companion is not seeing the ATEM Mini Pro? Probably an IP address issue. So you do have to like know the IP address of everything on your network. So when I go configure my where's my Constellation? Here it is. So you have to tell it what is the IP address. It will try to auto detect ATEMs on the network. So as long as like if everything's in DHCP from your router, then everything's gonna be on the same network. So it should just find everything. But if your ATEM is set to not DHCP, let's see. Oh, I may not be able to do this because it's not connected over USB. So in the, yeah, I don't get the setting for it, but you can change DHCP or static address in here. Yeah, I'm not connected over USB to any of these. This one is. Okay, so this is what it looks like when you're connected over USB. You can choose DHCP or static IP. And I think it defaults to static IP, which means it'll be like probably on a totally unrelated network to the one that you're using. So that's why you won't be able to see it. So if you change it to DHCP, it should get a network address from your router, in the same network that your Raspberry Pi or computer is on, and then it should be able to see it. So that's probably what's going on. Clear Life Media says, this may be weird, but I know they make down converters, but do they make an up converter? So you want to go from 8G to 4K 12G. Yeah, that's the thing. So I think the probably what you want is one of the decimator boxes. So they have, I really don't want spiders in the background of the web page. I know it's like an Australia thing, but it just bothers me and I want to turn it off. I'm going to delete the spiders. Where are they coming from? Oh my gosh. There we go. Okay. Spiders are gone. So they have all sorts of interesting converters here. No, not that one. 12G cross. So this can just, basically it does conversions between whatever you want. So yeah, it can scale or frame rate convert between 351 input formats. I don't even think I can name 351 input formats. So that is probably the box you want. It's not cheap, but it gets the job done. And it'll let you do a lot of different things too. So, yeah, you take either HDMI or SDI in, and then you can flip the picture if you need to for monitors, teleprompters. You can take 720 by 480 input and output 4K if you want. So yeah, it can do it. It can do everything. They're really aggressive with the spiders. Never launched the config app. Yeah, I can't delete the spiders from that app. Graham says you can reconfigure the multi-view to show only 4 panels. That's true. I've actually done that before. If I needed to see my my computer screen. So if you go into the ATEM, let me go into the Mini, and go into the multi-view, you can change. Oh wait, no, not on the Mini, only on the Extreme. That's what it is, and the Constellation too. So let me go back to the Constellation since my Extreme is not turned on right now. This is what I was looking for. So you can change, instead of having just one large one, you can actually change to have a second large one, and then you can put like your computer screen in that if you want to. So that I have definitely done that where I'm like, oh, I need to see my computer screen just a little bit bigger. And now, can you see it? Yeah. So now my computer screen is showing up here. Same thing that's showing there. And this is a much more readable size. It's not like great. I'm not going to like read comments on the screen probably, but I can definitely navigate the software control from this size. So that's another option. But I need to put that back because I have too many other things in there that I use. From earlier, Clear Life Media says, just saw the colored renderings for a new 3,000 square foot TV studio. Oh, that's exciting. That sounds like a lot of fun. You should post pictures of that, if you can, in the members Discord. So that sounds like a great place. There's a channel there for sharing setups and your work and stuff. So if you are allowed to, would love to see it. And maybe we can do like a interview later too. That'd be a lot of fun. David Hunt is reminding us that if your like button is transparent, please click it to make it solid. Yes. Fantastic. Oh, I missed your comment earlier, Darren. Just saying hi, not here for long, about to go for dinner. Well, cheers. Thanks for stopping by. Michael says, I wish I would fix the navigation in the emulator. Clicking the button to go to a page does not work. You have to use the page up and down or scroll. Oh, weird. Maybe it's changed in version 3. But let's see, clicking. I can navigate that way. That one works. What's not working? Looks like, yeah, everything works like I expect. It doesn't, I know it doesn't work in this one. This, oh, and these don't work either. You have to scroll. But this is not the emulator. This is just like, they call it the web buttons. It is weird that this button doesn't work though. Yeah, oh well. Cool. Did I catch up with the questions? Wow, I did. Oh, good reminder. From Circuit Baker, Companion can also take in control from OSC devices. Very good point. Yeah, if you're in Companion, then if you look at one of the buttons, it'll give you an OSC command for it somewhere. Here it is. Or HTTP. So if you have an OSC configured thing configured to point to Companion, then this is the path that the command you would send over OSC to press the button on bank 9 button number 6. So this is bank 9 button number 6. So that's a good tip. Yeah. But that means basically if you had, for the IRL backpack thing, if you have a keypad that is, that's not a Stream Deck that you like, you could connect that to some sort of OSC thing to turn the button presses into OSC commands and then send the OSC commands to Companion. And I still think Companion is a good option instead of ATEM OSC because of just how much excellent stuff you can do in Companion. So you can also probably find integrations for other devices that you might already be using. So it can help like start or stop or change stream keys on a streaming device or whatever it is. So great option. Probably still a year away before we start the build. Oh my gosh. Okay. Knocking down the building currently in its spot. Whoa. That's cool. Okay. That sounds like fun. Good question. I think you posted this earlier and I didn't see it. Have you tried the Rode Streamer X? What's your opinion about this new type of device? I haven't really tried it yet because I just haven't had time because all I can do is pack right now. But I do have it here. I will be trying it out. I will do a proper demo video about it as well as show it on a live stream eventually. But I am actually really excited about it. I think that it's a great option for certain types of cases of like you just have one camera and you want to use like a nice microphone. Great option. It's a lot easier than getting like a separate audio interface and an ATEM, which is what you would need otherwise. So very cool. You could also, of course, run an ATEM into that if you want. I don't know if that makes a ton of sense, but I guess it's an easy way to get a good microphone in with the ATEM because it's a nice small audio interface too. I don't know. I think there's a lot of interesting things you could do with it. But yeah, keep an eye out for sure because I will be doing a proper video. What are you doing? Says, a while ago I tried getting OSC commands to come out of Ableton Live. Kind of gave up as there's no easy solution. Oh, interesting. Yeah, interesting. Sounds like a fun challenge. Yeah. So what? Yeah, I wish I had like had time to work on the demo of the Streamer X or something, or that other switcher, secret switcher, which I'm excited about. But all I can do is pack right now. So this is the last stream that I'll be doing after having ridden a bike to the studio, because next week I will be coming downstairs to do the live stream in the morning, which also means I will probably not be late as much. Although I think we did okay today. I wasn't that late coming in for this stream. I was definitely late starting the behind the scenes stream for members. Which, by the way, if you haven't seen, members are watching a behind the scenes stream of me setting up for this show right before we started, and now they get the room camera to watch the stream from this angle. And as you can see, the room has devolved into complete chaos. It's taped up the little IKEA cabinet doors for transport. That's going to go up on the wall there. I need to remove that sound panel. This one's going to go up next to it as well. So I got a whole project cut out for myself now. Yeah, fun. It's looking good upstairs though. Got the kitchen stove put in yesterday, so the kitchen is like fully functional now, so we can actually cook things when we move in on Saturday, which is nice. Turns out it's really hard to live in something without a kitchen. May not be late unless door is aggressively lap occupying. Yeah, it's true, but at least I can I don't have to plan ahead quite as much to get myself out from under her if all I have to do is go downstairs. Michael says, happy Sunday. I finished my first broadcast to Peacock And man, oh man, was it a time. Freak thunderstorm 3 seconds after go live and we were outside. Oh, that's an adventure. It rained this morning here and I was very surprised because it's been like hot and dry for like a month now. And out of nowhere, it just started pouring rain this morning. It was a happy ending, believe it or not. Well, glad that worked out. Can you macro or companion the focus button on the ATEM software control? I know we did the zoom, but wanted to see if the focus works the same. Interesting. We can try it. Sure. I don't have a Blackmagic camera though, so we can't like see it happening, but we should be able to see if it works. So what we can do is go to the camera tab, and then what we're gonna do is try to push that button, little focus button, with a macro. That's what we're gonna do first. So what I'm gonna do, let's see. Actually, let's go to the other. Let's go to this ATEM. So I can create a macro that says focus cam 1, record that. We're going to press it and then stop recording and then see if it recorded any actions into that, which you have to do by exporting the macros. Macros, all I care about are these. And now I have to find that folder. Where did it go? It is in Documents, ATEM Autosave. There we go. Macros 806. Wow, it's already that far through the year, huh? So what do? We have focus cam 1, op camera control, void bool, address 1, parameter 1, action set. It looks like it does work. So once you have this macro created, that will push the button. So then you can go, that means if we run this, like again, we don't have a Blackmagic camera here to test with, but it did push that button. Once it's there, then we can go into companion and make a button for it. So let's see if there's a button in companion already, because I don't know. Focus, let's see, ATEM, what would it be called? Not Fairlight. Yeah, I don't see a action for it here. So this is a common problem. If there's no ATEM, if there's no action for something you can do in the ATEM in companion, then what you can do is make a macro for it and then run the macro. So now we can go ATEM SDI run macro, zoom in cam 1, and now we have zoom or focus cam 1, not zoom in cam 1, macro 2, focus cam 1. And that's a good trick. That way, now you have a companion button that runs the macro that does something that companion can't do in the ATEM itself. PM Pearl, welcome. Thank you for joining. Is there any talk for a 4K ISO ATEM? Our PTZs are NDI and 4K. What other better options are there for switching 4K NDI? Ooh. They didn't launch the 4K ISO ATEM when they launched the other 4K TV studio. I'm guessing they're gonna try because like it makes a lot of sense, but it is a lot of data to handle. If you're doing NDI though, then yeah, vMix. I don't know what kind of specs you would need in the computer to handle 4K NDI switching, but I'm sure they have documentation on it. That would probably be the best way to go if you're already doing NDI feeds. But yeah, otherwise, the other trick you can do is get a bunch of hyperdecks. So this is how Photo Joseph records videos. Is he actually has a bank of 6 hyperdecks all of his cameras run into the HyperDeck first, and then loop out from that into the switcher. So we can always hit record on 6 HyperDecks, record 6 camera angles in 4K, and switch the show in 4K. But that adds up fast. It's a lot of HyperDecks to buy. Have I used anything from Yongno? No. Intrigued by the new YN433 camera? No, I haven't. I have not heard of that. That is interesting. Relatively new, it looks like. Micro Four Thirds camera for live streaming. I hadn't actually seen this yet. Cool. I'll have to check it out. Sounds interesting. I wonder what their goal is. It looks nice and small. Micro Four Thirds isn't dead. I'm still a fan of Micro Four Thirds. I like it. I like how small the lenses can be. Yeah, okay. What should we talk about next? Got any other questions? Otherwise, I can't focus on anything right now. I just need to be putting things in boxes or moving boxes. Either of those things. This whole week is just gonna be nonstop packing. I got most of the stuff out of the office now, and it's over into this room, which is why this room is a disaster. So I gotta clean this up, mount that shelf on the wall. I probably have more stuff to sell too. Might be time for another flash sale of gear. And what I'm going to do this time around is first put things into the members Discord before I launch them publicly. So if you are a member, that's the best way to get a sneak peek on the of the gear that I'm going to get rid of. So I do, if anybody needs them, I have a whole bunch of like 300-foot cables, Ethernet and SDI cables. So if anybody needs long cables, they were what I was using for running when I was doing the conference filming and stuff. But I don't think I'm not planning on doing that again for a while. So I will. I need the space back that they're taking up. Chaos router controller update. I have not had a chance to work on this. It's been on my list for a long time now, and basically as soon as I started that project, now like 2 months ago or whatever, as soon as I started that project, thankfully I did get the controller working in order to do a couple demos, but I want to make that board the control surface for it. So the Chaos router works. It's in that rack, and I can run stuff through it. But I have a whole bunch of videos I want to make using it because I want to basically show what happens when all these different streaming controllers, streaming devices, have bad network connections. So I want this controller board for the videos. And as soon as I started working on that, we made the decision to move, and that just meant that all I could do was just focus on moving. So I have not had a chance to work on that at all, but I am going to, after the move next weekend, get back to that project because it's basically the bottleneck between me and making a bunch of videos. So I'm planning on, first thing I have to do for that is all the little parts that I got, the little buttons and things, I need to measure them all and lay them out on the panel. So that is going to be a live stream I'm going to do for members only at some point. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. Probably in like, I don't want to promise anything, but definitely not until after we're moved. So, but that's coming up. The other problem is that after after we move on Saturday, I'm actually going to London the next weekend for a work trip. So I'm going to do a stream from London. So I guess I'm bringing the YoloBox for that. Are the SDI cables 12G? Getting a spool of 12G SDI cables are expensive. I don't think so, because I bought them all in like 2014 and 2015. So maybe 2017, but yeah. Props for still going live with so much going on. We appreciate the commitment. Thanks. It's the least I can do because I don't need to like write a script for these live streams, unlike making videos. I forgot what you were going to do for the top surface, 3D printed or cutting into metal. I don't think 3D printed is a good solution for that. Just because it would be, maybe you could do it, but you have to add like ribbing in order to make it not just bendy. Maybe you could do it, but I don't think it's the best option. My thought was to do it out of wood panel and then laser cut. So I have these like 12-inch panels of wood, and they're about like that thick, so I can laser cut all the holes out of them. So that'll be fun. That's my plan. Snag some Pi 4s from London for us. Good idea. See if I can go find a Raspberry Pi store in London. Great idea. Oh, you need some cables? Well, I'll send you pictures of them. You can see what I've got. Are they all one type or separate, and what kind of SDI? They are. It's quite an assortment of cables, so I'm gonna properly like label them and then post them on the shop, unless Michael wants them first. Any thoughts on the new OBSBot Tiny? Same one you did a video on at NAB. I didn't actually get a hold of it yet, so yeah, no new thoughts, I guess. It's definitely cool though. I'm excited that they actually have an HDMI out OBSBot, because I think that was one of the. I'll probably, if I do end up getting one, I'll probably stick it around here somewhere and keep it around for the show. Yongnuo is well known for cheap, reliable LED panels, but cameras. Yeah, interesting. Everyone's getting into the camera business. Hollyland too. I wonder what's going on. Any updates on the drone? You said there were regulations requiring identification. Oh yeah. So I I need to double check about if anything's changed, but last I heard, in September, which is now only a month away, that's the date that all drones flying in the US will have to have remote ID. So I'm using the Mini 3 now, and that one does have remote ID, and so that's fine now. I don't have to worry about it. But I am curious if there's been any changes or discussion about that rule going into effect, because I haven't looked at the websites in a little bit. Let's see, drone remote ID certification list. How do I find this? The FAA has there it is. FAA has a list of all the drones that are certified now for remote ID, and this is the list, and it's been growing. So you can see that they're, even just this week, they added 5 new ones to the list, and Amazon Prime Air. Okay, interesting. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of them now that are certified for remote ID, so that's good. If you go back to the very beginning, the Mini 3 Pro was one of the first ones. Actually, it was the first. Look at that. RID 000000001 on September last year. And then they had a couple other drones as well. And then now we're up to Now we're up to 399 certified drones. Interesting. Oh, David, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. All right. So I think that we're going to wrap this up because we've been going for an hour already, and I've got some packing and cleaning to do. So with that, then don't forget about TVJay's live stream tomorrow. He'll be demoing SRT 2A SRT for an interview. Should be an interesting thing. I'll try to tune in. I don't remember what time it is or what I'm doing then, but I'll at least try to catch the replay. Should be fun. And yeah, next week I will be doing a stream again, and it will be the day after the move. So, not too much more stuff is coming into this room, so hopefully things don't get even more chaotic than they already are. But that's going to be a adventure. That's going to be an adventure. So, and if you haven't heard or if you forgot, we are moving everything on bicycles. So it is going to be a whole bunch of friends coming over to the apartment, taking all of our stuff, throwing it on bikes, backpacks, bike trailers, and then everyone biking up here, unloading, and then having a party and having chili and drinks. So yes, that'll be fun. And I decided to not add to the stress and try to live stream. I was very tempted to live stream the bike move, but I decided that that's probably not the best use of energy on moving day. However, we do have a friend who is going to come film. So he's going to like make a little video about the whole process of moving. So I'll link, it's going to be on his YouTube channel, so I'll link to that later if you're curious. But it'll be a nice edited video instead of just the chaos of a live stream. So Graham says, I moved flat by bike, just me and about 100 trips. Nice. Yeah. A true Portlandia event. It is. It really is. So it'll be fun to capture that in video form. I've already moved, frankly, quite a lot by bike here. I moved everything except the big IKEA one, which is too big, but the smaller IKEA one, the one that's like 1 wide by 4 boxes tall, that one fit on my trailer. And I got that over a couple weeks ago. Okay. Yeah, time to go pack, and do make sure you keep an eye on the members Discord, because I have been posting progress pictures there if you're curious about what's going on. One of these days I'll get back to posting behind the scenes photos of streaming gear instead of just moving photos. But anyway, something just shifted. Something just fell over there. Great. Okay. That's it. This is the end. Thank you all for joining. Thanks for the super chats, and thanks to all the channel members for supporting the channel. We got a lot of work to do this week to get everything moved over, but it will come together somehow. And yeah, we'll see you all again back here next week. Same time, same place. Less biking in the morning. I'm just gonna just walk downstairs. So that'll be fun. What just fell is the worst game. It's true. I need to get things organized in here. One of these days I'm gonna like clean this up too. It's getting a little bit messy back there. Thanks, Zach. All right. Oh, TVJay is 9 p.m. Eastern Mondays. Okay. Check out his show tomorrow. Thank you. Thank everybody. And thanks for joining. And I will see you all again next week. Goodbye.